Hey Capricorn, this reading is for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising in Love, December 1st through the 15th. Capricorn in Love, December 1st through the 15th. If you guys would like to be considered for a free healing session this month, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment below your video, and I will notify winners at the very end of the month. Capricorn, I am going to do my best to get you guys a general reading up this month as well, and be a collective reading. Many of you know that I've been going through quite a bit with a very sick family member, and so I just want to make sure I get all of these love readings up for all the signs first, okay? But make sure you keep your eyes open for that. Very good possibility I'm going to be able to get to that video. I will do my best, I promise you guys. Capricorn in love. All right, Capricorn. Okay, this is a little intense to start with. I'm picking up on somebody that you were very much in love with. Some sort of deceit, some sort of deception around them. I think some of you have had experiences with a partner that you truly loved, somebody you were very faithful to, not returning that energy and not returning love in the same way. I'm definitely feeling some partners that have stepped out. Now, I will say this, Capricorn. I don't necessarily see that kind of news surfacing the first half of November, but Mercury retrograde has spotlighted something. Some secrets may have been revealed. I will also say you may be in a partnership with somebody where both of you are very faithful, but a partner who's experienced that in the past, maybe he's triggered right now and showing some trust issues. That needs to be resolved quickly. I think some of you, especially because Capricorns work very hard, tend to travel often, especially for work, you may have a partner triggered by that who may be accusing you of not being faithful. It's incredibly important to be open to those kinds of conversations, but to also not feel like it is your responsibility to heal what somebody else did wrong to them in the past, okay? So try to strike a healthy balance with that. Extend compassion, but only to a point, okay? Be firm, communicate with love if you are truly being a faithful, loyal partner, which I know you are, okay? I'm not picking up that deceptive energy is yours at all. I'm not picking that up at all for you, Capricorn. For those of you who've had that experience with the partner, especially if it was recent, there's somebody coming through who's going to your loyalty. If that person hasn't already showed up, there's somebody trying to come through who will show your loyalty, who will show the kind of love that you give, okay? There's something important about the next couple of weeks with that energy manifesting. So make use of law of attraction. Make sure you are utilizing affirmations and gratitudes to manifest this kind of love, because it feels like you're stepping into a pocket where you could really call somebody pretty spectacular in, even if you're still grieving a bit from a disloyal partner. Now, put that energy out there, but continue focusing on your healing too. If that is you experiencing that kind of pain and that kind of deceit at this time, I know that's heavy. I'm sorry to start with that. It just came through so strong for you. So let's get a little bit more clarity, Capricorn. Oh, these cards are not even. Someone was holding something back from you, huh? Yeah, okay. Well, first card out is reconciliation. I will tell you this. If you've dealt with a deceptive partner, they feel incredibly horrible and they would like to get back together with you. Now, I think some of you entertain this, especially if you have families, okay? Especially if there are children involved, you want to consider a reconciliation, but it's really going to depend on whether or not the partner who was deceitful or was unfaithful, whoever was hiding something. It may not be another partner that they were hiding, but there was some sort of deception here. Can they own up to it? Are they pointing fingers? Are they making excuses? Or are they being grown? Is there some sort of healing in the mix? If there is some conscious healing going on, especially if you're utilizing a therapist or some sort of a healer to navigate this difficult situation, I really can see some reconciliations coming full circle, and there will be longevity there. But I do think for many of you, you're not going to want to consider this. If somebody wasn't faithful to you, especially if it is that energy, and it was that experience for you, you don't really want to take that person back. I can see you be stepping back into the picture because there are children and you don't want to split up a family. but I don't see Capricorn being able to trust a partner if they've done that, okay? Reconciliation after deception. That's just what I'm channeling with this. Let's pull a few more cards. Let's get a little bit more clarity on this reconciliation. Worth waiting for. I'm going to pull a couple of cards for you guys because I know this is a challenging message. So I need to pull another card here. We have worth waiting for. We're going to focus on this because it's the center of the reading, okay? Worth waiting for. On both sides of worth waiting for, we have reconciliation. We have release your ex. What experience do you want? It does feel like for many of you, it is worth waiting for that partner who is just as loyal as you, who can love at the same level you love, and letting go of the ex, regardless of how aggressive they are being about a reconciliation. I do feel somebody authentically grieving, authentically feeling very guilty about their actions, never repeating that again, saying that and owning that, and that really being honest. But for some of you, it's too late, right? You're not going to step back into a situation no matter how much you love somebody if you can't trust them, because you know that that's not going to be healthy for either one of you. So if that is your truth, if this is something that you can't let go of, get back together with somebody and start over with a clean slate, then it's time to let them go. Okay. This may have been clarity that came up during the retrograde. It was a difficult one for just about everybody. And I'm sorry if this showed up for you in her. There's definitely a light at the end of the tunnel, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But it feels like to me the major message here is that there's somebody else who is worth waiting for. Okay. Now, if somebody's been traveling, and it's not about anybody being unfaithful, it's that somebody's been traveling quite a bit and it's triggering trust issues. That person is worth waiting for. That is somebody you will reconcile with, not because there was even a true separation. It was just physical space because somebody was traveling. But it's going to spotlight trust issues. And you have to recognize that there's a connection to an ex. This could be you, Capricorn. This could be your partner. Someone has to let go of someone in the past. That cannot be energy that you have to deal with in present moment if you didn't create it. Okay? You should not be paying the price because somebody else's ex was unfaithful. And I do feel like for some of you, you are. That is not a fair experience to have. It's also not loving. It's not of your highest good. Okay? So somebody needs to own up to something in the past that still needs to heal and let that go. Because for some of you, this isn't about anybody right now being unfaithful. It's about something lingering from the past. Okay? So we have reconciliation, clarify that you deserve love. If a partner hasn't been faithful, or there was deceit, right? There are many different kinds of deceit. It does feel like somebody not have shown you their whole self or their true self. And then you got into a relationship, you had commitments in place, and you're like, if I knew this, I would have known that we weren't compatible, or what somebody did for work, or whatever the case is. Something just feels off. Okay, someone had something. That person really wants to come back. But if you self-love at the core, universe is asking you to really take your time if you're considering a reconciliation. Because you have to honor self-love. Is it really of your highest good to let somebody back into the picture who wasn't honest with you for whatever reason? And really getting a no for you, for a very small percentage of you, you will reconcile. But the only way it's going to be successful is if trust can be reestablished, and that you require a professional to help mediate that and to help guide that. Worth waiting for. Clarify by very soon at the center. I really think for many of you, this is just somebody new coming in. You went through a really horrible experience with an ex. It's time to clear the ex's energy because there's somebody better showing up. That's really what it feels like for you here, Capricorn. Especially for those of you who feel like you've given up on love a little bit. Do you feel like you've given up on love only because you can't trust it? Because you really love somebody, gave them your all, and then it almost felt like the world shattered a little bit when you realized that they weren't loving you quite the same way. The thing is, they were, but sometimes people have insecurities and they have old karmas and old baggage. And so they have shitty behavior in relationships and things come up and out. That's not to belittle your experience, but it wasn't that you weren't loved back. But it does feel like there's this energy of like, I'm not good enough. I don't attract that. If you have those kinds of affirmations out there in the universe, you will continue to attract low-level partners, okay? And low-level experiences. The universe is asking you to feel a little more uplifted, to be conscious of how you're talking about love, how you're talking about the past, how you're talking about new partners coming in, because there's somebody really beautiful trying to show up here, okay? We have released the ex, clarified by children. First of all, how do you release the ex from previous inner child healing? Because the ex probably represented somebody from the past, somebody from childhood, okay? So this definitely speaks to inner child healing, and that's what's going to clear not just the ex, but the karmic pattern of it all, especially if you've dealt with multiple unfaithful partners or deceptive partners. I'm also getting control here too, okay? So it's not just all unfaithful partners here. I'm sorry that that's coming through so strong, because I definitely don't want to instill fear in you, but it is coming through, so I'm going to be honest. But I am getting controlling partners here too. That is probably a karmic pattern. There's inner child healing here. But what I'm getting, the positive of how this moves forward, as long as you're committed to self-love and you're not stepping back into relationships where people aren't trustworthy, okay? People who maybe don't, I don't want to say don't deserve the second chance, but, well, for some people, they really don't deserve the second chance. What they did was maybe too big. Everybody deserves forgiveness for sure. But I do feel for some of you, if you go back to a relationship, you're never getting that trust back full circle. And that's not really going to work for you. I do feel like for some of you, you've had a hard time releasing the ex because there are children involved. And this is why you consider the reconciliation. I'm getting for some of you, you've had more than one reconciliation. You've tried this over and over and over and over again. Pretty soon, very soon, you're moving past this. There's somebody better, especially for those of you who've dealt with deceptive partners. There's somebody better. There's something better coming in. It's somebody better for your children. It's somebody better for your inner child. There's more love here. There's more stability here. There's more loyalty. I think that's the big message here. It revolves around loyalty and honesty. Okay, you have someone who can meet you. Yeah, at that place. We have travel crowning this, honeymoon crowning this, because somebody have traveled, and while they were traveling, they weren't being faithful. I do feel like travel is triggering old ex issues, past karmas, past experiences. It's time to heal it though, okay? Over the next couple of weeks, focus on healing. It's not about rushing back into relationships. It's not about rushing back into commitments. It's about being honest with yourself, not necessarily just sticking it out because there are children involved, making sure that that decision is truly of your highest good and the highest good for all involved, okay? There's movement forward here, but it does feel a little bit slow over the next 2 weeks. It does feel like you're going to see more momentum once you step in to worry with love, but there is positivity here. There's somebody worth waiting for. There's somebody worth clearing space for, clearing old energy cords, letting go of exes for real, not entertaining phone calls, not allowing anybody to aggressively try to come back, because I do, some of you allow a partner to come back over and over again. Of course, not all of you, Capricorn. But if you see that this is a pattern with somebody, it really might be time to let them go. Wow, I was getting control issues at the bottom of the deck, okay? So this feels particularly strong because of you are dealing with soulmates. Okay, so you have a soulmate tie with somebody and you're genuinely in love. They're controlling or they're unfaithful or they're traveling too much. It's triggering past issues. Now's the time, despite the intensity of that and because of the intensity of that, now is the time to really recognize what's going on. Is it karmic, or is this just like a one-off deal with a partner who wasn't faithful? It's incredibly hard to deal with regardless, but it's time to release it. Instead of feeling like someone did you wrong and giving up on love altogether, it's time to release this so that you can move forward. Because what I love about this, we have honeymoon, and then we have worth waiting for very soon, all in a row, okay, as this crowns your reading, but all in a row. You'll be meeting somebody new as you travel. You'll be meeting somebody new as you clear space and you move forward with your life. This really comes through as movement forward. There's somebody worth waiting for. There's somebody worth opening your heart for, okay? Getting back in the game, dating again, being flirtatious again. But Capricorn, do know that you have other options than going back to somebody that you're not going to trust, okay? I know this is intense. I know this is intense. Those of you who are in committed relationships where you don't feel like somebody's been unfaithful, you don't feel like you're being triggered or a partner's being triggered because of travel, something's going on with the kids. Well, for one, it feels like somebody could be battling over custody and it's interfering with a healthy relationship. So it could be you, it could be your partner dealing with an ex and you're battling over custody of the children. And that's very, very challenging. I do see that ending in your favor, make sure that you have a good lawyer, and make sure that you don't back down too quickly. Okay. I see travel regardless. So if you're in a committed relationship and you've chosen to stay together, regardless of the issues that have come up, you need to travel and you need space. For some of you, you need a clean slate in a different city. Like you really need to start all over. You need to start all over. The same place, there are going to be triggers there. Around the same people, you're going to have the same trust issues. Something needs to shift here. I don't see it necessarily shifting altogether over the next 2 weeks, but I do see movement forward. I do see some travel here. I at least see talk of travel. The clarity, getting the clarity you need so that you can finally move on with your life. Making sure that you're making decisions from a place that is truly of your highest good, not just factoring in everybody else. And then you always having to sacrifice. Capricorn, this is really important. Capricorn, if you feel like you need more clarity than this, please reach out to me. I'm available for private readings. I'm available for energy healing sessions. I am going to do my best to be back here for you guys mid-month for your mid-month love reading. I'm also going to do my best to get you guys a general video out there too, okay? But let me get through these first. I'm sending you all so much love, light, gratitude, healing. This is intense energy. Now, if you don't feel like this applies to you, check out your moon sign. Check out your rising sign video. This obviously isn't going to apply to Capricorns across the board. This is a pretty specific message, not a bunch of different messages coming through. But if you are in alignment with this, most importantly, give yourself space to heal. Give yourself space to heal. If you need help with healing, reach out to me. I can help you, okay? Again, sending you all so much love, light, gratitude. I'll see you back here soon. Love you, Capricorn.